this year we've seen a couple really solid defensive performances from you guys. I think back to the Thunder NBA Cup game. Just what did you see tonight in your guys' defensive effort, intensity, focus?
I think it was everything starts with, our focus. And I think, we've just been more focused and coming off some games that we feel like we should have won. Obviously, you got to look at what you're not doing or what you could be doing better. And I think our focus on our game plan, knowing players' tendencies, and ultimately, like, what's going to give us a chance to win games and what are we doing when we're at our best. And I think we are physical. We're on the string defensively. We competing defensively and getting stops. And when we get stops and we get to run out at guys, you got somebody like Giannis going downhill and they have to put 3, 4, and sometimes 5 people in a wall to stop him, and he's hitting shooters. We're not having to take it out the net and play against that pressure every time. We just get stops, you run it at them, team's off balance, and we're able to dominate that way just because of, the shooting that we have on our team, me and Giannis being able to get into the paint. So our focus, our discipline, we connected on both sides of the ball, and we're sustaining it for longer periods of time. And, when our mind is right and we do that, we get these types of results regardless of the team. Against Toronto, we had it, and you would look at that game and say it's the one we're supposed to win. And then a game like tonight against a tough team, they give people problems. And we had it again tonight, and we was able to do the same thing. So I think when we're focused and we're disciplined and we're connected, we do the right things. That way for us can beat anybody.
I don't think it surprises any of us when you see Giannis defend Wemby one-on-one and keep him in front. When a guy like A.J. Green kind of gets underneath him and pushes him out, just what does that kind of mean to your guys' defense?
It means a lot. Like I said, just competing on that side, being physical, and just taking the challenge. I think if we have everybody doing that, sometimes guys are going to just make shots. But if you do that over and over and over, eventually, it's going to be in your favor. You give yourself a chance to be successful over the course of a whole game. So when you see, in our scouting report, we're saying, when we switch and the smaller guys on them, get underneath them, pressure the ball, be physical, and then it happens in the game and you have carryover from shoot around and you have that type of possession, I think it just gives the team energy. And it gives us, even more confidence and belief in what our scouting report is. And you just got to keep doing it. You got to, like I keep saying, you got to sustain that for long stretches to wear on the other team. And you find success that way. And I think we just, we had enough of that tonight.
What's it like playing against a guy like Wemby, a 7'3" guy guarding the rim?
It's different, because it's even when he's beat, he's not beat. And even when you beat your guy and he's, guarding on the perimeter, he's always in range, to block a shot or even change a shot. And then offensively, he can do everything. He's handling the ball, he's shooting deep threes, he's going off the dribble, he's in the paint. I mean, it's more different when he's on the floor than any other player that I've played against because of his size and length and, his skill set.
What's your verdict, A.J. Green, dunk or no dunk on that one?
It's not a dunk, man. I know he don't have a career dunk yet. He had a couple opportunities since we all saw that stat. And the first time he did a layup, I texted him like, man, you blew it. But tonight I could tell he tried to load up and do it, but it didn't count. Like, he might have been a little tired because I think we was going up and down a little bit. And those are the tough ones when you're a little winded and it's like, do I just lay it in or try to dunk it? But I saw him load up off 2 feet, but that didn't count. So, yeah, I wouldn't count that as a dunk.
Chris came off the bench for you guys tonight, and I know he's done it a couple times before, but just like what kind of a different dynamic or feature to your team does that add when you have him off the bench?
I think our bench, when we've been our best, our bench has already been doing a great job. And then you add a guy like Chris to your bench, I think it just makes us an even stronger team, especially off the bench. It kind of has been that way all year, with Chris coming off of surgery and missing some time. We had to get settled, a certain way, with TP and with Dre out there. And then when he came back, he was coming off the bench. So now with that situation happening, I think it just makes us better right now because he's going to be able to handle the ball. He's going to be in a position to do more in that second group, and it also makes our depth that much better. You know, you got second groups having to deal with Chris Middleton, and then you got that shooting that we have coming off the bench. Is just gives you an opportunity where you don't have to have me and Giannis on the court, you know, one or the other all the time. You got another great player out there, and it's hell for the other team's bench to have to deal with. So I think it just makes us better, and it just creates a lot of balance for us.
Dame, back here, Doc Rivers kind of put his vote together for A.J. Green to be in the three-point contest, and earlier during shoot-around, you talked about letting it fly, whether or not Wemby was close by. You had that one over Wemby, and then you had that deep one, I think, on the next possession, part of that big run you guys had in the second quarter. As a shooter yourself, what is it like to see A.J. kind of have that confidence he has and then be able to hit the way he does from deep?
For me, I'm somebody, like, I get a lot of belief from, like, what I put into the game. You know, when I know I'm taking care of myself, I know I'm training, I'm doing all the things that give me a chance to be successful, that's where you get a lot of belief. So when I see other people doing that, you know, that's when I start to believe in them, you know, because I see what they're putting into it. And that's what I think about AJ. I always see it where he's the first person on the court. Him and Brooke are the first people on the court every day, you know, when we come in. And AJ, obviously him being younger, you see him down there just full speed, spinning the ball out to himself, coming out, curling, shooting threes. Then he got a coach out there passing to him, quick release, step backs, end the shot clock type crazy shots. You know, you just see him constantly just working. Then they get close to him and they shoot real contested threes. So just to see how hard he does it and how consistent he does it, it's made me confident in him. You know, every time he shoots, I think it's going in. Whenever I see him open, I'm going to throw him the ball because, you know, I think it's a great play for our team anytime he's shooting the ball. And I think everybody's surprised when it doesn't go in. So it's a joy for me to see him having the type of success that he's having shooting the ball. And, you know, our team is going to need that. You know, our team is different when he's on the floor and when he's, you know, taking and making those shots. So I'm happy for him.
Hey, Dame, similarly, I wanted to ask you about Gary Trent. He was a perfect 5 for 5 from the field, still out there after the game getting up shots. Can you just speak to, I guess, the way that he's evolved as a teammate for you back when you were in Portland versus now here in Milwaukee?
I think he's grown a lot. You know, he's understanding the game differently, you know, and I think that's natural for a young player to come in and, you know, they're trying to find their way, trying to figure out the way of the NBA, you know, how to be effective in the NBA and what their position is, what their role is. It's a tough thing to figure out sometimes for young players. And I think now being back with him, he's learned a lot, you know, he's grown a lot as a player. And one thing that hasn't changed is, like, his confidence. Like, I think it's only grown, and that's crazy to say that his confidence has grown because he was super confident when I first played with him. He thought he was the best player on the team. So it's like I said about AJ, it's been fun to just see his growth, you know, and see him go from coming in and starting and then coming off the bench. And sometimes he's coming in the game in the second quarter, sometimes it's in the first quarter, but regardless of what the situation is, he's finding a way to help the team, you know, on both sides of the ball. And, you know, I think that shows a lot of growth and a lot of maturity. And it's extremely important for our team to have guys like that. So the fact that it's a guy that was like my rook, somebody that I played with, and to see him this many years along in his career and have that type of growth and us be teammates again, you know, it's been fun for me.